Well, hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to something very, very different from what you guys are used to seeing. This, if you're a long-term subscriber of the channel, you'll realize that helicopters have not really been featured on the channel at all. So let's roll that intro and we will get into this awesome heli. Alright guys, well, this obviously is something very, very different. I acquired this helicopter through a friend, so it's already built, it's already been flown before, but we've got to do some changes on this thing. So at the end of this video, don't forget to go down below, check out my website, thelightersideofrc.com, and you'll hear a lot about my backstory and how I got involved in the RC aviation side. It started with these things. Alright, so my friend who I acquired this helicopter from, he's flown this a few times, and we made a decent trade. So this is a SAB Heli 570 model, and it's all ready to go. So it uses a Spectrum AR7200BX receiver flybarless setup. That's getting changed, and in its place, we will be installing the IKON2 flybarless system. And I'm not using the Spectrum system because I don't fly Spectrum, I fly JR, and we are setting this up with a bus system using this tiny little receiver, the RG012BX unit, which is absolutely tiny. So this particular helicopter uses the Outrage torque servos, the BL9080s, that's what came installed. We've got a Quantum 4125 1100 kilovolt motor, and we will be using Gens Ace 5000 milliamp 6-cell 60C lipos on this aircraft. You can use a 12S setup. That's a little bit above and beyond what I want to use this thing for, so we will be using the 6S setup. Our speed control on this heli is a YGE model. Now all of this stuff is pretty new to me. So I'll give you a really quick background story on how I got started in the model side of the hobby. So I think it was back in about 2006, maybe 2007. I was going through one of the local hobby shops here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I saw a helicopter. And I did a bit of research and I ordered, my first helicopter was a T-Rex Align 450, one of those little electric jobbies. Basically put the ping pong balls on the skids and learned to fly. I've never had flown anything before that, and I got fairly proficient with it. From there I moved into a Raptor 50 Nitro model, then ended up with T-Rex, Align T-Rex 700 Nitro models, and that's what I finished with. When I sold all of my helicopter stuff, those were my final two helicopters that I had, and at that time I got into planes, and my very first plane is actually hanging on the other side of my workshop. So I keep this thing primarily just for nostalgia, but that was my very first aircraft, the Horizon, Park Zone, whatever it is, the Extra 300, powered with a 3S LiPo, and that's what started me into the fixed wing side of the hobby. So flew helicopters for a few years, got into the fixed wing side, and from that little Extra 300 I ended up buying an AeroWorks 30cc Gasser 300. Flew that for a very short period of time and jumped right into turbine jets, and that's pretty much what I've been flying, just fixed wing aircraft for about 12 years now. So it's been a long time since I've used the sticks and run a helicopter. I don't use rudder very often anymore, so this is going to be very, very interesting. I was not by any means a 3D crazy helicopter pilot. I could do some TikToks and pirouettes and things like that, but this will be a fun learning experience, reminding myself to use that rudder stick. So that's kind of the point of why I wanted this helicopter, just to hone my skills on something that's a little bit different. So, to get to the point of the video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be setting up the IKON controller on this helicopter. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how to set it up. There's already a ton of great videos out there. I watched a couple myself. One of them is like an hour long, very, very detailed. So I'm just going to show you kind of the basic ins and outs of some of the things that I notice and learn as I go through setting this helicopter up. Like I said, this helicopter has flown. I don't know how long it's been, but once we put that new controller in, obviously everything's kind of brand new. And for me, it's been so long that a lot of the stuff will remain the same, but a lot of stuff will have changed. When I just got out of helicopters, the Align flybarless system was just coming out, and I think I flew it for about a year before I got out of the helicopter side. So that was fairly new technology back then. And anyways, guys, so step number one on this thing is we get to take the Spectrum controller out, and in its place we're going to install the IKON controller and get everything hooked up as per the instructions. So I do have my laptop sitting there. I've already downloaded the program to program this thing. It's a pretty easy setup, so I'll show you guys kind of the steps along the way, and hopefully you guys are interested in this. And of course, I will be showing you my first flights. It's going to be very lackluster and maybe a little bit scary / boring, but we'll see what happens. So step number one, we are going to take off the blades. I remember that being quite an important thing to do when I was dealing with this stuff before, and especially on electric models. We don't need to lose any more fingers. I'm already lacking enough. All right, so we've plugged in the controller to the USB port on my computer, and we open the IKON software, and right now it is uploading the firmware. All right, so firmware has been updated. So the first step here is to program or type in all of your details about the helicopter. All right, guys, well, I've just been plugging away at the Goblin over the past few evenings. It's been really, really busy out at my house build, and just been plugging away at this while I could. So one of the struggles I had with the programming was just the channel allocation. So when you go into the program for the MSH Brain IKON type stuff, there's the basic menu, if you want to call it that. And then there's also the advanced menu. Now, I never went into the advanced menu until I was done the basic setup. Now, if I would have gone into the advanced menu, this would have helped me a lot. So essentially, what had happened was on my radio, on a helicopter, the throttle and pitch are on the throttle stick, right? But on my radio, on my channel allocation for the IKON, for some reason it puts throttle as channel 6 and pitch as channel 1. Now in the advanced menu you can actually change that. What I did is I just flipped it in the radio, making it work with the system, but I could have actually modified it in the advanced menu. So anyways, little tidbit for you. So all we're doing now is I'm actually charging the batteries. We're going to fly this thing tomorrow is the plan. The programming's all done with the Heli, and I just got to clean up the wiring and mount the receivers and stuff like that. So that's basically what we're doing. All right, well, she's all ready to go. I checked the CFG, had to slide the batteries forward a little bit on the battery mounts that slide in place, and she's really good right now. So we're all ready to fly tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to put the blades back on, but she is ready to go. And this is going to be very interesting tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Looking forward to it a little bit. I don't know if I'm stressed or not. Maybe more stressed than the maiden of a jet, but we'll see. All right, guys. Well, we are out here with the Heli. I would love to say that this is flight number 1, but it's not. I did 2 flights a couple weeks ago, and just getting the stuff dialed in. Basically, I had 2 governors working at the same time. So I had the governor on the speed control working and the governor on the IKON2. So I've shut the governor off on the speed control, and now it's just working through the IKON2, which is a lot better. The RPM on throttle up 2 is set at 2200. We can go higher. By no means is this going to be an amazing flight. Again, I haven't flown helis in about 10 years, So take it for what it is, but let's take this thing up and see how it works. I also have adjusted the gain a little bit on the tail, so they tell you to start off at 45. I think I backed it off now to about 41, and it's not wagging as much. So. Now, if you have one of these IKON controllers and you can provide me some feedback, that would be awesome. If you are looking at getting one of these IKON controllers, they are extremely adjustable. There's like hundreds, if not thousands, of adjustments on this thing. So I'm just getting into how to adjust these things. So it can probably be adjusted a lot better, but this is where we're at. So that's stunt 2, so about 2200 on the head speed. Still a little bit of wag on the tail. Right now, the IKON controller is only set in sport mode. It's not set in like 3D mode or anything like that. That's it. that's what it looks like, me flying a heli after not doing it for about 10 years. Now that is flight number 5, I think, on this heli. The last 2 has been the only ones that I've really actually started doing stuff. We had the first 2 where it wasn't working properly with the governor. The first flight this morning was okay, just getting things dialed in, played with the tail a little bit, and then that's it. So hopefully you heli guys enjoyed this. It's different for me flying something with so much required tail control, but it's kind of nice because it wraps my brain around something different. So that's why I wanted to do the heli stuff. But thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions, and we'll see you in the next video.